Today in the crypto space, we see the market getting a nice green recovery. Bitcoin up approximately 5.5%. Ethereum also up approximately 2.5%, reaching that critical $2,000 zone. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, some of them are getting a nice bounce, definitely in the green. Caspa, Tau, and many others. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but I also want to focus on Bitcoin today because ultimately, if Bitcoin continues showing us this strength, bull run on. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. Guys, we saw a little bit of weakness this morning and then a nice V recovery straight to the upside. Bitcoin currently showing a lot of strength, but the total market cap is what really what I'm focusing on. It's still concerning me. As you can see, the total market cap is still coming down, although the bit of relief today, 2.3%. Yes, we could celebrate. However, we're still in the downtrend, and this is concerning, obviously. And what's more concerning is the trading volume. As you can see, as we are still in the downtrend, making lower lows and lower highs, we are getting a significant amount of trading volume in comparison to a previous price action. So that kind of concerns me because the market participation is in consensus with this dip. Now, do we continue with this downside, or do we finally get a change of character, a pivot point structure at the bottom of the range where Bitcoin currently is playing around? Bitcoin right around $82,600, up approximately 5% in the last 24 hours. That's definitely a great pump, but you can see that even on this 1 hour fractal, guys, we got to be very careful with celebrating too early. There's no real change of direction just yet. If we start making a higher high here on this local price action, and of course we'll talk about the chart in a second, full detail, if we start getting that, guys, it's going to start to look really good here for Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto space. Let's quickly scrape to the top 100. You can see that a lot of altcoins right now are desperately looking for bottoms. Despite the green today, we have to understand that a lot of them are green because of this little pop on the tail end of this downtrend. And it's still great. Obviously, we're celebrating 3%, 5%, 6%. Lots of celebrations could be had today on a bit of a recovery. But don't forget, dead cat bounces do happen. Don't forget the price action is coming up to touch the top of the ranges and perhaps, hunt a bit of liquidity for a continuation to the downside. And I don't want to be overly bearish here, but the reality is that nothing in these fractals are telling me that the downtrend is over. Now, we could be getting signs of divergence, bullish divergence, that is. We could be getting a change of character where we start making higher highs. And as we get those confirmations, guys, we could start deploying more capital, getting into more riskier upside positions, because obviously when we start seeing those indications, it means that perhaps the bulls are here ready to get the ball in their court and push to the upside again, right? So that's what we're looking for, is a bullish response. Up until now, we know that the bears have been fully in control and pushing the price to much lower levels. As I scroll through the market, as you can see, yes, we are up approximately 5%. We have BTC or Tau up approximately 20%. But what you gotta understand is that this relief, although it is amazing, guys, we're still in a downtrend. Although we did break up above the local high, give us a confirmation low, a higher low, and we're getting all in. Then we get that confirmation that the pivot is in and we're ready to move to the upside, because until then, guys, we could definitely come back down, and of course we could continue going up, but it's still in that risky zone. You don't have an edge. The edge is not here at the current moment on a lot of these. If there are any projects right now that are pumping really hard, even including Caspa, be very careful. Be prepared for the bearish response and then get in with a bit more confidence. In fact, Caspa is looking pretty good. We're breaking above the previous high, which is very important. up approximately 29%. And as we speak, Caspa's recovery is really good. We know that the community is very strong, very committed, and very, very convicted. And ultimately, a push like this is great. But guys, you know, it does leave a bit of imbalance in the price, where maybe those volume gaps below, you know, the fair value gaps below could get filled, and we get a bit of a response, and then we get that confirmation low, the higher low. That's where I'm going to start getting more risk on and deploying more capital. And as we keep on going, you can see a lot of projects are doing great, 10% for Celestia, but still making lower lows and lower highs. So again, we could celebrate all of this. We definitely can, but we definitely have to be very, very careful with getting overly emotional, right? Definitely bullish in the short term, still bearish in the midterm, still bullish in the big term, in the big picture, but ultimately we need to play those time frames very, very carefully here. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. Today, I want to focus on Bitcoin. As usual, you guys know that I cover a lot of altcoins each and every day. The difference is that in this current state that we're in, a lot of us should be focusing on what Bitcoin is doing, because ultimately, if Bitcoin continues in this downtrend on this follow through right here, guys, we're coming down for another lower low, and it could be very detrimental for the altcoins. So let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. So the reality is that, you know, a lot of us in the last little bit has been very emotional about this bearishness that we've got. And of course, any signs of green, any signs of bullishness, we get very, very emotional about it as well, right? We start getting hopium. We start feeling like, you know, maybe we're going to start recovering here and start getting an altcoin season and bull run and all of that. And guys, we're very close to potentially closing the CME gap that we left behind from the previous weekend, which is great. Usually they close, no guarantees here, but it does look like we're trekking to that upside with a nice V recovery. And obviously today I did a lot of scalping on the Discord with the community. You know, I got into a few shorts that went well. I got stopped out a couple of times, but overall very profitable trading day if you have a short-term outlook. And what I always say, guys, in this market you need to be a ninja, because at the current moment there's no clear indication of what's happening. We've got a decent retracement already, very confluent zones already hit. We have still the fact that we're in a bull run based on cycles, and a lot of people are believing that, you know, we should see some great recoveries very soon. And at the horizontal level where we touch liquidity and we come and hunt liquidity, could it be possible that we come down even lower, and the total market cap is at a critical level as well? So there's a lot of indications right now that this dip could be over, but there's no real major confirmations here to suggest that we can come down for a little bit more of a dip to get a proper change of character. As of now, we're still making lower lows and lower highs on the daily, and getting a nice confirmation low, higher low, which means coming down to maybe about 78,500, maybe even a little bit higher, maybe 80,000 could definitely be possible. And what that means is that we need to be ninjas. We need to get on those lower time frames in short and long, and appreciate the volatility that you're getting on lower time frames. Now, of course, guys, join the Discord. A lot of us are trading on a daily basis, trying to raise capital for potential buy orders when we get those confirmations. And of course, if you're looking for links to an exchange, a no KYC exchange, I got Blowfin in the links in the description, and obviously Mexseed, which has all the degen tokens that you're looking for, and it's a semi KYC, but still a lot of good features without KYC. So go check those out. Now, what do we do here? The thing is that what do? We don't get risky here. We don't take risk. We be careful, right? And if you're going to take any risk, at least take it on spot. The reason why is there's no liquidation, and you can clearly endure a lot of volatility on spot and slowly accumulate a little bit more. Now, I'm not totally convinced of this being a bottom. I know there's some individuals out there that are very convinced that we've hit a bottom. I'm not convinced. Why? Because there's no indication of that here on the market structure. On the daily, we're still making lower lows and lower highs. Now, we could entertain a 4 hour play. Let's see what's going on here. We also got another lower low down here, which I'm not very happy about. If you exclude the wicks, or maybe even include the wicks, it doesn't matter. It's still a lower low, slightly at horizontal support. What I want to see is this. What I want to see is a higher low come up here right into this level on the 4 hour. And I forgot to show you oscillators, guys. We'll definitely get into that in a second, but I would like to see something like this, a nice rounded bottom here. That would be absolutely amazing, to start to see a nice rounded off a shoulder, a head, a shoulder, or even a bull flag, let's face it, we would be happy with a bull flag so we can put a stop loss and get that continuation going. But as of now, as we are seeing this green price action to the upside, you know, all we can say is congrats to all those people that held, and especially some of those altcoins that came down to those bottom levels. If you bought the dip, you've been doing pretty good in the last 24 hours, which is awesome. But again, if Bitcoin doesn't give us a clear indication that we are at least breaking this trend on the 4-hour, and obviously from all the way to the top, guys, I am afraid that we could come down for another low. Even if it's a double bottom back to 78,800, guys, that's another opportunity to DCA. So buying in right now, there is risk. Now let's go back on the daily really quick so we can see what's happening. And as I'm speaking, we're seeing the bulls push to higher levels, which is really good. And as you can see, we are making a higher low momentum. As you can see right into here, the purple line is making a higher low. That's pretty good. Volatility, when it got up to overbought conditions, it fell short, to be honest. I wasn't really keen on that. I would have loved to see this thing expand. However, the way we are seeing the daily, it looks like we might want to get overbought. The purple line looks like it wants to continue a trend to the upside after we see this purple line make a higher high, which would be awesome. And then we start to say, you know what, we got oversold, we got a higher low confirmation, we go up for a higher high. Trend is our friend. Volatility to the upside, momentum to the upside, expansion tapering in, everything suggesting bullish on the daily. And obviously on higher time frames, we're still looking good. My concern is the lower time frames. My concern, again, is the 4-hour. And obviously paying attention to the trend oscillator here. As you can see, EMAs are still facing down, right? We're still in a downtrend with regards to trend oscillator, right? You can see this, right? A bit of an ABC correction, you know, 3 waves to the downside. The problem is that we're in a bearish control zone below the 0, which is a bit of an issue here on the daily, of course. We are still creating red histogram bars. Sorry, guys, red histogram bars, and the EMAs are still facing down right into here. So there's no indication to me that we're done, other than the fact that the expansion right here is tapering in. Fine, expansion's tapering in. That's fine. That's great. But all other indications here on the trend oscillator is not giving me any sign of strength at the current moment, which is concerning, obviously, because right now the price action's definitely pumping. Now, I definitely want you to look at the previous time we pumped right into here, how we got that railroad track straight back down. Now, I'm concerned that we might get that again. Okay, just keep that in mind, guys. It happens. Don't get caught into it. Be prepared. You know, buy those bottoms, accumulate those bottoms, any confirmations. Now let's quickly go on the 4-hour here. And as you can see, we're breaking a bit of a trend to the upside. We break above this high. It's confirmation of a potential change of character. Potential. What we need from that is that we see a higher high, of course, and then a higher low, and then we start calling this a change of character, which would be absolutely bullish to get in right around this level. Of course, no confirmations are guaranteed, but at least, guys, we can buy a dip where we feel a little bit more comfortable that we're not becoming exit liquidity here. Okay, so not bad of a scenario, because this pop right now is looking very good. But if you look at the oscillators, guys, I'm a bit concerned that we might get a bearish response here on the oscillator, on the volatility, right? We're definitely overbought as we were in the past, Now, if you look at every time we were overbought in this sense on the 4-hour, we got responses, right? I'm not crazy about waiting for a bearish response once you get overbought and getting overbought. So what I want to do is perhaps wait for that bearish response. And as I'm saying, bearish responses are meant to be bought. Now, what I'm also concerned about is that we can continue to the upside eventually, you know, after the bearish response. So let the bearish response, let this come down, and we can see that the momentum is in an uptrend, right? Maybe we start going like this and we start moving up. Momentum is the purple line. However, I would be glad to go long when the orange line gets oversold here on the 4-hour. I would start getting into a bullish bias right at this level, and obviously after we see that the bears cannot make a lower low. That's the biggest concern for me, is that the bears can actually come down, even despite this push to the upside, still lay a smackdown and still make a lower low. And I am not there. I am not here to gamble and to find out. So I would like to get that evidence that we are coming down for a higher low instead of a lower low. Classify it as a change of character once we break the neckline, or once we break above the previous high, and call it a day and start going long and start looking for positions to reclaim previous price action. And of course, a lot of us are way waiting bullishly, waiting patiently and bullishly to start seeing this market recover. We got EMAs facing up, green histogram bars right now on the daily on the chart. Bitcoin right now is looking okay from this perspective, but however, it's not in the bullish control zone above the zero. I would like to see that happen. I would like to see the control zone. Every time we see the EMAs in the bullish control zone, this is where we get the bigger expansions to the upside. Look at here, and if you go back into the history, look at here. So I want to see this thing. I want to see the EMAs get back above to get superly bullish. Obviously right now the EMAs are looking great, and the green histogram bar that we got for confirmation in the 4-hour is awesome. So I understand the bullish sentiment. However, the indication to me of a change of character would get me a lot more bullish instead of taking too much risk. Okay, so that's that. Now of course, you know, you could be buying altcoins, and today I didn't cover an altcoin, and I've been covering Bitcoin quite a bit here on the channel lately, because ultimately that's what we should be focusing on. The large cap Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin could be that leading indicator for a continuation of the bull run. Keep an eye on that total, and obviously be careful with the altcoins, especially the micro caps. I would obviously suggest keeping focus on the large caps, the ones that are, you know, multi-cycle holds, the ones that you feel very bullish on and convicted with, because the reality is that volatility is going to be a lot less and ultimately allow you to recover if we do get a bearish response here. Now obviously getting into micro caps are very risky, so make sure they represent a small portion of your portfolio, but nonetheless diversify yourself into those small market caps via good fundamentals. Look for good fundamentals, guys. Doesn't matter if it's a small cap, as long as the fundamentals check out with you. Feel free to slowly DCA based on those convictions. All right guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care guys, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.